celebrating your wife's birthday. Which, happy birthday to her. We're talking about Thrawn.
So can I ask you, like, in all seriousness, why are we talking about Thrawn? Like, I'm actually gonna let me crunch some numbers here real quick. Let's see here.
What do
So
you think?
words
Can you give
about
me a number crunch
books
real quick?
Yeah, give me a sec.
has
I'm coming up with
released
32.33 repeating, of course, percentage.
119 episodes.
Oh, that's a lot better than we usually do.
And
ready, guys?
of the 119 episodes we've released,
7 episodes of Star Wars Thrawn.
yeah. Okay, so let's just do the math real quick here. 7. Right. So that will be about 6% of all Words
we
About
can do
Books
better than that.
episodes.
Let's get to 10%.
6% of this podcast about books has become about the Blue Alien and the Star Wars Expanded Universe, Grand Admiral Thrawn.
If it helps, he doesn't even really appear in this duology. It's a fake out, Ben. Does that help? Does that make you feel better?
No, because
Didn't make me feel better.
we also most recently talked about Thrawn in February.
That's not true.
You released the Thrawn Trilogy Supercut February 1st.
Yeah, but that was a super cut. That was a new episode.
After releasing the new episodes on the Thrawn Trilogy in January.
Yeah.
It is very close to every other month there is a Thrawn episode on Words About Books. So I think you need to account for yourself. Why? Why are we talking about Thrawn again?
About every other month. Or are you talking about you're talking about season 2 and 1 as well, or what?
No, I'm talking about this year.
That's only 2 of the 5 months. I guess this one comes out, but you know. We went 2 months there without Thrawn. Okay?
I want to hear from Words About Books fans. I want to know if this is the content you crave from us. Please reach out to us at WAB Pod on Twitter, at Words About Books Podcast on Instagram. Send me an email.
Buy me a coffee.
Send me an email at wordsaboutbookspod@gmail.com.
Donate money to our podcast and tell us how much you love Thrawn.
If you really do love Thrawn,
more Thrawn.
If you give us money, I'll read Thrawn.
Oh my god.
I could be bought. Yeah, if you really crave this content, I will go read the canonical Thrawn.
He can also be bought very cheaply.
That's true. Because Nate, as we established, the funny thing was we did that April Fool's / just in general joke where you fired me over the money that we didn't split, and I don't think you even sent me the money you said you sent me.
I think you're right, actually.
I don't think I actually saw a penny of that. So specifically address the money to Ben. Yeah.
I'll have to send you that what was it? It was like $2.
$4. I think it was $4. No,
no, because it was total. Total was $5.
Yeah,
and then
right.
Stripe took its. I think it was $4.23.
Yeah. So. Okay. So why did you want to do this?
Sorry, hold on. Just one more moment. All right. So I have just sent you $2.11.
Okay, hang on.
All right. So yeah, you're asking for an explanation, and all I've got is that I wanted to know if anything improved with 8 years or 6 years, I guess, of writing.
So is this still Timothy Zahn?
Timothy Zahn, I think this is... I'm not doing any research, but this is Timothy Zahn, I think his return to the series after he did the Thrawn Trilogy.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, this came out in 98 or late 97, so like, wonder how things have changed.
What are the titles of these books?
Spectre of the Past and Vision of the Future. They're the Hand of Thrawn Duology.
It sounds like it's going to be about Mara Jade. She was the hand of the Emperor.
Oh, well, actually, that's something a lot of people ask her. Like, oh, did you ever think that Thrawn had his own hand? And
No.
the answer is no.
I mean, I knew everything. It was from his perspective. I knew what he knew.
Hey, it's Editor Nate here, and I just had a little discrepancy here. We actually never saw anything from Thrawn's perspective. It was a little like a Sherlock Holmes or a Poirot thing, where like it was always from Pellion's perspective, and Admiral Thrawn would just tell him stuff. But what
I
if
watched him get stabbed unceremoniously by a random Nagri. The end.
But what if the writer was not done yet? And, like, he may have written himself into a corner, but, like, we could still work with this. What then?
Does he have more about Thrawn he would like to write?
Apparently, because he wrote these 2 books, and he wrote another book, and then he wrote a prequel to the Thrawn trilogy, and then he wrote, like, several more books in the canon series.
So, now let me ask you this. What does Timothy Zahn like more? Thrawn or a paycheck?
Yes.
And I don't mean to disparage Timothy Zahn or say that. I guess I am kind of saying exactly this. That,
I don't mean to
Thrawn,
disparage him, but he's a money-grubbing dick.
No. I don't mean to disparage him. I don't think there's anything wrong with writing for commission, but I do think it's not like the great American novel, you know?
Well, that's because we're not teaching it in our schools, Ben. We need to hurry up
Well, we should
and
be.
get rid of Catcher in the Rye so that we can make our kids read about Thrawn.
You know, you might have sold me. If those are the only 2 options, I think I'll go with Timothy Zahn. But yeah, it's just not. I mean, do you think Timothy Zahn really was like burning with a desire to write more Thrawn? Is that the vibe you
Apparently,
get?
he wanted to write a story where a clone of Thrawn has to save the day in a way that only Thrawn can. And he's struggling with who he once was and struggling to live up to his original creators or his original version's expectations, and he has to help what he views are rebels to the Empire. But that never happened because Disney bought them.
This might have been the one good thing Disney did.
Put Timothy Zahn out on the street. You horrible asshole.
Got rid of some of this convoluted nonsense. So obviously I'm not excited to be talking about Thrawn again. But why don't you try to convince me I'm wrong?
Yeah. Well, you're not excited about most things, so...
That's true. That's true.
Thrawn Duology Part 1, Spectre of the Past. It's a time of relative peace for the New Republic, I guess. There's a bird person in charge, Han and Leia have some more kids, Luke is doing stuff, everything's great, but little do our heroes know that perhaps Thrawn is lurking out there, despite being killed. It's in the title. I hope this isn't a bait and switch. We start out the Spectre of the Past with Admiral
Gasp.
Pellion. I think he was a captain last time, right? And now he's a goddamn admiral, Ben. What do you think of that? He's like the leader of all the military for the old empire. Eh?
Isn't that what he did before?
No, because Thrawn did that before, and then Thrawn got stabbed. I think he was just a captain before.
Well, no, wasn't he an admiral?
I don't think so.
Because Thrawn was a grand admiral?
Alright, let's see. He was a captain. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's
so
moving up in the world.
why was he
several
reporting
promotions.
directly to Thrawn if Thrawn was a grand admiral?
Because he was the captain of that particular ship.
But shouldn't there have been an admiral that
No,
was in charge of
not
everything below
necessarily.
Thrawn?
I asked my dad about military ranks, and he was like, they just kind of add whatever the fuck they want.
I guess that checks out. I mean, I don't know what makes your dad an authoritative source on this. I don't know a lot about your dad, and I'm sure the audience knows less. But
Once a Marine, always a
Okay.
Marine. Hoorah!
your dad was a Marine.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that was not what I was expecting, just knowing you.
Yeah, my granddad was also a Marine.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
You really let him down. I've seen you play racquetball.
Hey. The sun was in my eyes. I was warming up. I didn't
We
eat
were
a good
indoors.
breakfast that morning, okay?
It was well into the evening. But yes, so Grand Admiral, so Pellion's back, better than ever. He's got a new makeover, he's got a new job. Everything's coming up Pellion.
Actually, everything is going down Pelion because they're doing a field exercise on they're trying to utilize cloaked ships, but doesn't work out. And Pelion, the beginning chapter of the book, Pellion's like, all right, it's time to accept it. We've lost. We've been getting our ass kicked for the last 10 years. We gotta surrender to the New Republic and come to terms, or else we're just gonna get wiped out at some point.
So they failed in their own military exercise, and
Yes.
Pellion just gave up.
Well, I think they've been having a string of failures. But yes,
Okay.
Pelion was like, all right, it's the final straw. I'm pulling the plug. We're done.
Shut it down! Turn it off! You think?
Star Wars over.
Yeah.
Star Peace begin.
Yeah. I think the next book in the series, though, is the beginning of the Yuuzhan Vong War, so...
Oh, so
You
that's
gotta
why they
have
gotta
a
wrap
war.
this up. That's why they gotta wrap this up. They're doing... Yeah, well, I guess you can really only fight the Empire for so many decades. It's fantasy, not Afghanistan.
You could do a fantasy Afghanistan.
You could, but that's no one's fantasy.
Starship Troopers would disagree with you, Ben. So that's Pelion. That's how we start.
Okay.
Pelion's like,
So
all
that's,
right,
that's our first
time to
point of view
surrender.
character. Okay.
But don't worry, Ben. We're going back to our old favorites, Luke and Han and Chewie. I wrote
It'd be
down
weird if
here.
they weren't there.
And actually, Chewie kind of disappears for most of the book because he goes and takes care of the children.
Because it's very annoying to write Chewie into a book because you can't write any of his dialogue.
All he says is,
I'm not editing this one, but if I were you, I might just edit in the actual Chewie.
no. It's exactly the same. I nailed it 100%.
First take, nailed it.
So they're doing some negotiation shit. It's really not important, but it introduces two alien races whose names I didn't write down, so we're just going to call them A and B. And they hate each other, and they will always oppose each other no matter what, for any reason. And also,
Okay.
some pirates attack. That is the thing that happens. And that
Wait, who's
kickstarts-
dealing with A and B?
For some reason, Han and Luke.
Okay, that's who I'd put on the case.
Yeah. Han does not seem thrilled to be there, and he's kind of like,
Wondering why they chose him as a negotiator, former drug smuggler, occasional terrorist.
yeah, exactly. But they repel a pirate attack, Ben.
I would certainly fucking hope so. They're the new government armed to the teeth.
Ooh, yeah, actually the new government kind of sucks. We'll get to that in a moment, but...
They have the resources of how many thousands of star
yeah, but
systems?
they suck, Ben. I can't express to you enough how much the New Republic government sucks and needs to go away. But, yeah, it turns out there are clones on board those ships, Ben. What a mystery. So Luke's got to figure out why there are clones on those ships. And Han thinks
this
Card
is
might
still
know who they are. So it's time to go on a quest.
When did you say this came out?
98.
So like right before the prequels. So we're just about to find out. This is mere years. Theoretically, George Lucas is writing the script
Theoretically, yes.
Theoretically, George Lucas is writing
Theoretically,
the script.
he also maybe wrote the script like 5 days before it was time to shoot. I don't know.
That will make this clone business not canon.
Yeah.
I mean, he had to, though. Like, they had to be filming at this point. Because it comes out in 99, right? Phantom Menace?
Well, Phantom Menace didn't have clones in it.
No, but they had to already be in, like, pre-production for Attack of the Clones.
I don't know.
I feel like George Lucas just wasn't talking to the book people.
Yeah, probably not. Because, like, Luke isn't supposed to get married, Ben. He needs to be celibate. So anyway, we have to go to Leia, because Leia has to be there. And you remember Wayland? You remember Wayland from last time? That's the new Nagri homeworld.
Good call. There weren't a lot of people there.
Yeah. And also the kids are briefly introduced. All 3 of them. And then they go away.
Oh, even Anakin.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They were busy.
No, I was going to say, if we're about to do the Yuzan Vong War, then enjoy your time with Chewie while it lasts, Anakin.
Yep, bye Chewie. Go deal with the kids. So you remember how there is like the Bothan guy, Phaela, was like, you gotta destroy that storehouse because there's stuff that could really mess up the Bothan people, and then like they never told us what that was.
Yeah,
Here we are,
they really
Ben.
held out on that one. Oh
6
my god,
years
10 years
later.
later.
Yeah. And probably 10 years in the story. I don't remember.
So they just let Phalia get away with not telling anybody that for 10 years.
Yes. It was a data card, Ben.
Oh no.
It was a data card that showed that there were Bothans who went down to the planet Ka'amas after the Clone Wars, and they disabled a planetary shield, and then the planet got blown to shit by unknown pirate gangs, and basically they helped effect a genocide of that people on orders of Palpatine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like that sort of thing happened all the time.
Well, you're wrong, Ben.
Didn't Palpatine genocide like the Alderaan people?
Yeah, but everyone knew who did that. No one knew that the Bothans did this.
Well, okay, but you don't know, like, who cares?
Well,
What?
they use it as the New Republic member states use it as a pretext to start escalating towards a civil war.
With what? The entire Bothan race?
Yes! Yes!
But humans blew up Alderaan.
Yeah, but those were evil Imperial humans, Ben. And humans are super special awesome because they don't have a home planet in this world,
Wasn't the
I guess.
Imperial Academy on Han Solo's home planet?
Yeah, but don't think about that. It's Corellia, okay?
Isn't General Garmbel Daddy still part of the New Republic, despite being an Imperial guy?
Yeah, but he wasn't on the Death Star. And
Isn't half of the New Republic just old Imperials? Don't they live in the Imperial Palace?
Here's the thing, Ben.
On a planet
Here's the
full
thing.
of Imperial
Here's the
civilians?
thing. Think about this from a political perspective. You don't care about the
I am.
facts and the logic. You just hate those Bothans because something fuck them. So you're just going to use this as an excuse for like, well, you should pay huge reparations to these people.
But Nate, many Bothan spies died to bring us this
but
information.
not enough Bothan spies. Not enough Bothans in general. Okay? The way we could pay reparations is with blood money. And that's when we learn, well, not right now, but Phalia tells Leia and some bird guy who is the Mon Mothma now. He's like, yeah, we're actually lying about our stock market or whatever. We're actually broke as fuck.
You can do that?
Yeah, you can.
Boy, everybody should just lie about their stock market all the time.
And they're like, they're talking about returns that they don't actually have. And he's like, now in like 5 years, we'll be where we say we are. So don't worry. But we don't have the money to pay back the Ka'amasi.
What? Okay, wait. So the entire Bothan economy is shit.
Yes, but no one realizes just how shit it is.
An entire planet of spacefaring weasel people
Yep.
is broke. Just the whole planet.
I don't think they're broke. I think that they are just poorer than you expect.
Okay.
They say they're rich, but in fact they're like lower middle class.
How could you possibly hide that?
The collapse of the deal between Enron and Dynegy has left Enron employees stunned.
Ben, it's something galactic stock market.
Why would you choose galactic stock market if you weren't going anywhere with it?
It's only there so that they can say, well, we can't pay them back. So, like, we need a different solution to this problem.
You know how all these, like, we've talked about this before on every Star Wars episode, but it's like, you know how all these people are like, oh, Star Wars, it's an endless universe of possibilities and blah, 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 blah. No, it's not.
And it ends up being
every planet
really
is just
tiny...
Every planet is just 5 guys.
Yeah, it's a really tiny galaxy. It's, like, frighteningly small. Everyone always runs into everyone else.
Yeah, everybody runs into each other. The economies of entire planets are just nonsense. It's like the personal finances of one company. The entire race makes decisions as a unit.
That's how that works in real life, right?
You try to tell me that a handful... like, you're ordered by the Empire to wipe out a planet when you're part of the Empire. That's not even a crime. They must have done blanket pardons of tons of Imperials by now.
Yeah.
I don't even know why this is a secret.
They want the individuals who did that crime to come forward, but they don't know who those individuals are, so, like, fuck the entire race, right?
That's incredibly racist.
And
I'm
also,
not on Leia's side.
Alien Group A and Alien Group B, one side sides with the Bothans, so the other side becomes very vocal and outspoken against the Bothans. Also, Card is on Wayland. I want to just point that one out.
Oh, he's still a character.
Yeah, no, he's here. He's gonna be here and he's gonna do stuff. Now, here's the thing. This whole thing kicks off because some guy is on Wayland stealing the data cards. And Leia is like, okay, salvage rights or whatever, we'll pay you for this and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you know what could have averted this entire book? If she would have just pulled out a gun and shot that guy in the face and then put him in a shallow grave.
Well, see, what you're doing right now is you're stealing data cards. So I'm going to hold your entire species responsible for the stolen data cards. And I'm going to, embargo you and blockade you and kill most of you until I get those data cards back. So the data cards, they contain information like, Dear Diary, today I disabled a planetary shield.
Yes.
It was super cool. Can't wait to do it again.
Yes.
Signed
Bothan Saboteur #1. Hey, it's Editor Nate again, and as I was recording this, I thought more about it, and even if they had the actual documents, these are the Emperor's files, right? You know that really trustworthy guy that overthrew the elected government, installed himself as dictator for life, and was an evil space wizard who committed genocide? Why the hell would we trust him for anything? He could easily have made a forged document to implicate people he just didn't like.
Okay, and the only one who can solve the mystery of the Bothan spies is Thrawn.
Oh my god, yeah, kind of. So let's meet our villains, Ben.
He's a regular Miss Marple, he is.
Let's meet our villains, okay? Because you're about to get baited and switched, my friend. So Pelion is meeting with the Moffs. You remember the Moffs? I don't.
No.
But there was a Grand Moff, and I guess these are like that. So they have a bunch of guys who are dead, who are CGI'd back in, right?
Okay.
And Pelion is like, hey, we gotta surrender. So, get your shit together, think about that, because I'm the head of the military, and I say we surrender.
If you got any data cards lying around, you might want to delete those, because I don't think we're going to get very favorable surrender terms based on what's going on.
Anyway, there's a bad guy, Moff, Ben. Moff Dizra, who every time I heard
D's nuts?
That's exactly what I was going to say! Every time I heard his name, I just thought, Moff D's nuts.
That's what else could you possibly think? That's just his name. Never refer to him as anything else.
So D's nuts, he reveals he's got like a bodyguard who's like a major whose name I kept saying was Major Kira, but that's the Star Trek lady. It's Major Tierce. He used to be a bodyguard of the Emperor's, super smart, capable kind of guy, and so
Major Tierce for fierce.
So D's nuts is like, hey, I want to use your expertise to win this war that we're losing and replace Pelion. But we're going to need someone to rally all the systems around. And that's why I brought this guy in. And out comes Thrawn from a hidden bookcase. Except, it's not Thrawn. It's a con artist guy whose name I didn't even write down. Who could do a perfect cosplay of Thrawn.
Can he, or are they all just really racist and it's just another blue guy?
No, I mean, maybe they're all racist, but, like, even the good guys fall for it. And they can't
They
be
never
racist.
met him.
That's not true. They saw him from a distance. You're right, they never did meet him, did they? Oh, boy. Oh boy, you are right. They always saw him like from a distance. They never actually came face to face with him. Oh shit, man. I'm beginning to think that maybe this book is not well thought out at all.
Okay. Mara was the only one that actually really talked to him.
And she will not meet this guy at all in this book.
Oh my god.
She's actually the one person who doesn't. So yeah, D's nuts decides to form a secret triumvirate to seize Imperial power, rally the Imperial systems around them, and finally defeat those damn rebels who have been kicking our ass for like 12 years.
Oh no. Are you okay?
I even wrote down in my notes. It just goes, and the plan is to get these guys together and ... win ?
Okay, first off, we all get together. We all write Pelion's name in our burn books. And then, ? profit.
So they do want to use the Kamamas crisis, though, because... So we learn, Ben, the New Republic, how their political structure is. Are you ready for this? So they've got that big Senate.
I assume they're a republic.
They got that big Senate, and they have a bunch of different representatives from different species.
Wait. Wait, this is going in the outtakes. Hang on.
So the Imperial Senate, right?
Right, yes, those guys.
A bunch of representatives meet, and once per year, they can put forward a bill that will affect the entire Republic, and it'll have to go through committee, and then it gets voted on, and only like a huge majority do you actually get passed. Only one bill per person per year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the Republic has a very, 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 very weak central government. I don't even know if it has much in the way of an actual standing army. And
these are the good guys.
Yes, they didn't want to have a strong central government like the Empire, so they went like all the way in the other direction, and they're basically a loose confederation of systems.
States' rights.
And in some cases, yes, exactly. In some cases, the federal government cannot even enter star systems without like permission. And apparently, you can just leave the Republic at any time very easily. Like, you know how Brexit took, like, a few years to, like, vote and get everything set up? In this book, there's a species, an entire species, acting as one, Ben, that's just like...
As they do.
Yep, I think the Republic can no longer help us. I'm going to go join the Empire. And they do.
Doesn't seem like a wise move for a non-human species.
Yeah, but that's all in the past. The Emperor's dead, Ben.
Okay. Are the soldiers still called stormtroopers?
Don't think about that.
Okay.
So then Luke
Doesn't even
goes
seem
to a
like a
pirate
good deal
base.
for like for like most of the human species.
So Luke goes to a pirate base, Ben, going on another
Okay.
side quest. It sounds like a really fun video game. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like zoned out. Luke's got to infiltrate this base, and then he gets into like this trap, but he escapes by exploding some stuff, and yeah. And then the pirates are like, ah, shit, and they set the self-destruct button, and they flee. But then Mara Jade comes. I don't remember why she was even there, and she and Card
So-
save Luke.
For narrative purposes, I can just imagine Luke's running in circles until Mara Jade comes to join the cast.
Narratively, yes.
Okay.
It sounds like a really fun level of a video game I wish I could play.
Yeah, you're like, boy, if I was watching a movie or something, I bet the visuals would really carry this piece.
Or if I was the one actually sneaking around and I had to get deeper into this pirate base, that would be really awesome. And then Luke ends up, like, he gets launched out into space somehow, and he lands in her hangar, and he's, like, straddling her. And I wrote giggity in the script.
Are they 12?
They're
They're
might
both
as well.
in their like 30s at this point, right?
So I thought that they had a thing, right? Like this whole time. But that's not the case. They fell out of contact between the trilogy and the duology.
She wrote like "Have a great summer" in his yearbook and then just took off.
She stuck around to learn just enough Jedi techniques to go back to her old ways, and then she was like, "Peace, I'm out." "I'll call you sometime," she said, and then she never called him, and she changed her number. But
And she
when
went
she
back
hears
to hang
Luke's
out with,
name, she starts acting a little weird. And when he hears her name, he starts acting a little weird. And they got a little
I'm gonna
awkward thing
reiterate.
going on.
They're both in their 30s, right?
Yeah. And Luke has been with like 2 whole other girls since then. So like he should be experienced.
2 whole girls.
Yeah.
What is that phrasing? But he just keeps coming back to the fiery redhead because this is, of course, your fantasy.
Yeah, it is. Living the dream. If I had Jedi powers, I would totally go after a redhead.
If you had Jedi powers, the entire world would be a worse place. You're already drunk with the limited powers you have.
Ah, can you imagine? Can you imagine such an amazing world? Oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
Where are we? Oh yeah, we're on a completely different tangent now.
Hell would I
Now we're
know?
done with Luke and Mara. They're gonna go off for a few chapters, and now we're back to
Run on the
Lando
treadmill.
and Wedge.
Of course. Yeah, they got to be in there. They were in the movies.
They're gonna meet with Garmbel Daddy for I don't even remember what reason, and they also at some point find an Imperial listening post. I'm throwing that in because I forgot to put it in my script. It's not important. Who cares? But they see there's a Star Destroyer coming in, Ben, and they're broadcasting a message, but they're captured by another Star Destroyer. And then we'll catch up with that guy in an entire book and like half another book later.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And then Han and Card are together. I don't even remember how or why, but Han's like, "Hey, you should join up with us." And Card's like,
Wasn't Han supposed to be taking care of that AB situation?
No. The pirates intervened and like, we're gonna have a recess.
He just let the pirates do it?
No, they stopped the pirates, right? And then everyone was like, maybe we put a halt to these negotiations while we yell at each other in the Senate chambers over the Ka-Hamas documents like children, and the Prime Minister or whatever he's called has to mute our microphones constantly because we can't shut up. That's really what Hillary needs, that vital youth demographic. Well, the gist of this whole conversation is that Card asks Han if Leia has a hot sister.
Is Winter still around?
She is, but she is not a hot sister of Leia's.
She's close.
Han was like, well, with the Skywalker family, you never know.
Oh, that was pretty good, actually.
Yeah, he was trying to lure Card away to the New
But no,
Republic.
her mother died in childbirth because she just gave up. She didn't want to raise her kids.
That's not canon at this point.
Yeah, she saw her beautiful newborn children and was like, I have nothing left to live for. And just faded away. It's that easy.
All right, so...
God, I hate Star Wars. Like, I used to really like Star Wars. And then I think it wasn't this podcast that turned me on Star Wars, but any chance of me ever going back and being like, I want to give Star Wars another shot, it's gone now.
No, Ben, I'm going to
gone.
convince you. Because we're going to talk about Discount Mara Jade.
Oh?
Her name is Shada, I think?
Her name is Shade?
Shada, I think.
How's it spelled?
I don't remember. I'm guessing because I didn't write it down. That's why I'm like, I think that's what her name is. I just call her Discount Mara Jade because her whole thing is she is exactly like Mara Jade without all the growth and development. She's just the heir to the Empire version of Mara Jade.
Mm-hmm.
She sucks.
So she's going to fall in love with Luke.
No. She's going to replace Mara Jade so that Mara Jade can fall in love with Luke.
So is she the Hand of Thrawn?
She leaves this one guy. She's part of some all-female organization. Look, who cares? She leaves that. They're hunting her now, and she's like,
She
I
leaves
need
the Bene
protection.
Gesserit.
Time to go get a job with the New Republic, and she ends up with Card. And then she,
Oh, a little competition for Mara there.
just really annoying. Well, she never meets Mara, or not until the very end of the book. You see, Ben, Mara goes off on her own side quest because there's a weird-looking TIE fighter thing that's broadcasting a message in an alien language no one can translate, but they recognize Thrawn's full name. His non-Anglicanized name, Ben.
Thaddeus Cornelial Thrawn Turbinator.
Yes.
Oh my god. That's Thrawn's Christian name. You mean his name wasn't first name Admiral, last name Thrawn? Admiral Joe Thrawn. No, it would be something stupid. It would be something like Azure Crimson Eyes Thrawn.
Do you want to know his real name, Ben?
I do want to know his full name.
All right, I'm going to just send it to you in Slack, and I'm going to try it. Mithra-Neruodo.
Oh, I did know this. I have heard this before, actually.
Okay.
Mithra Neruodo, yeah.
Yeah, so Mara recognizes that, and she follows the TIE fighter to a planet in the unknown regions, and...
Oh, it literally just has Thrawn in the middle.
Yes, it does.
Wow, they really dug deep for that one, huh?
So yeah, Mara Jade goes to this planet, Ben, and she...
Goes to the planet where there's a TIE fighter broadcasting Thrawn's name?
Yes.
Okay.
She follows it back to where it came from. There's a giant citadel carved into like a canyon, and she finds these really, really fucking annoying, high-pitched, talking animals that she can barely understand because they communicate with the Force or some shit. And then she's knocked unconscious, and she's just out of this book. She's done. We come back to her in the next book. Meanwhile, Luke has a vision of Mara being dead.
That's new and exciting.
Yeah. And if I didn't know about the other, like, 40 books after this where she's very much alive, maybe I would have believed it, but probably not.
Did he have a vision that a mouse man was coming with a bunch of like legal documents and money, and he was just going to make it so that Mara Jade never even existed?
You think God is in control here? I am in control!
Oh yeah, Luke is he's not using the Force a lot because he's like, that's the path to the dark side. I need to be more mindful. And also it'd be too easy if I did that. I would end all the conflicts immediately, so I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, then we wouldn't have a book.
Yeah, exactly. He was like, I don't want this to be too easy. There has to be some tension. I need to restrain myself.
I don't want it to be too easy. It wouldn't be a satisfying narrative if I didn't have challenges to overcome. Oh God!
So Luke's gonna go after.
You can't tell me Timothy Zahn's not phoning this in.
Hey now, there's a riot that happens, and Han and Leia happen to be right there. What now, Ben? There's a lot of riots actually over the Mastodon.
I don't even know where they are. What planet are they
I
on?
don't even fucking remember. I didn't even write it down. We're moving on, Ben.
Okay.
So Rogue Squadron because we're back to Wedge for some reason. They use some.
He was in the movie.
They use some legal loophole, right? Like there's this planet. I think they're blockading the
Rogue
Bothan
Squadron uses a legal loophole.
I know, right? It's insane.
But what? No, I mean like.
Also, Wedge is a general. What? Why is he a general? Like fighting on the front line.
I don't know, but I know that name.
That's true.
He was in the movie.
That's true. So.
Are they going to do the Porkins formation? That's my favorite.
Maybe after they win the battle. Yeah,
you got to hit the buffet in Porkins formation.
What they do is they're like, well, we can't stop this blockade because something legal stuff. But what if we just like say that we think we see a drug smuggling freighter over there, and we go detain that, and then like now we have legal provocation.
Wedge is just like probable cause, probable cause.
That is exactly right.
I smell weed.
Open fire.
Oh, now that's the government I know and love.
And then later on, their X-Wings in a different fight later in the book are sabotaged, where if they try to lock S-foils in attack formation, you remember that from the movie.
Good, Wedge is a fucking narc.
Their X-Wings will, like, explode or something. And, like,
Sweet.
That's a war crime to sabotage the ships.
I feel like you are always like war crime, war crime, war crime. And it's like, what isn't a war crime with you? Like, I have to fight a perfectly symmetrical battle for it not to be war crime?
No, you can't sabotage people who are technically within your own nation state. Like, I couldn't go sabotage the federal government's airplanes because they would come after me. Like, you know,
That's
you're right. It's not a war
That's
crime.
just a crime.
It's war.
That's just a crime. That's just treason.
You're right. It's not a war crime. It is an act of war.
It's treason.
Yeah.
There's a word for it.
Yeah. And they don't do anything because the federal government is too weak to do anything to reprimand these guys, who then go on to blow up a refinery full of Bothans from orbit, which seems like it should be a war crime. Like that.
No,
should be a
that
war
is
crime.
probably a war crime.
Yeah.
Like specifically targeting civilians is probably a war crime.
But we're gonna give them a slap on the wrist rather than try to impound their entire species for a thing.
So why did we bomb a Bothan refinery again? What was the thing the Bothans did?
The Bothans destroyed an entire planet by lowering a shield, Ben.
So if you sabotage a plane and blow up a mining thing, you're not seeing any.
No, because this is a smaller scale. You
there.
see,
is it though? Is it
it's
just
going
a
to blow
smaller
up
scale
into a
because you
larger
don't have
scale because
access?
This is going to go all the way to possibly wiping out the Bothan species. But right now, it's just a refinery.
It's going to go all the way to possibly wiping out the Bothan species because the Bothans played a minor role in the destruction of a species that up until this point no one even cared to investigate how they died.
Also, the remnants of that species, they actually are pro-Bothan. They're like, hey, let's not go to war over this. Like, our planet's dead. Persecuting these guys isn't going to solve anything. But no one asked them and told them to shut up. They've got some war to do.
Do the Bothans happen to own like a lot of debt from the other people?
No.
I was gonna say, because this feels like maybe we're fighting the Both. Like maybe this is just a convenient excuse to wipe out the Bothans because that would be convenient for me.
It feels like it's a convenient excuse to go to war against whoever you want to go to war with for any reason.
Can I ask you a question?
Which is
this
actually what they
conflict
say. They say that a lot of it is just like they're breaking down into their old feuds.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Does this conflict with the Bothans have anything to do with the rest of the story?
Kind of. In the sense
Okay.
that it's like 3 different stories.
What's the story Thrawn's in?
Thrawn has sent 3 cloaked Star Destroyers to hang out near Bothawi. And he sent an Imperial infiltration team down to sabotage the shields. And there are more and more ships on either side hanging out next to Bothawi. The idea is the shields are going to come down. The sides...
How do people keep getting through the shields to sabotage the shields?
I don't know how the shields work, Ben, but shut up. So... So the idea...
It seems like if I were somebody who sabotaged a shield in the past, first thing I'd do, make a shield so that people don't get through the shield to sabotage the shield.
Well, I think
That's just a
I
note.
think that there's a
That's a
way
note
for
for the
ships
Bothans.
to enter the shield somehow without lowering it. Look, I don't know. They don't explain
If the
that
entire
shit.
universe was trying to wipe out your species, though, maybe just leave the shield up.
No, only half the universe, you see.
That's enough.
Hey, it's Editor Nate again. I'm going to give Star Wars the benefit of the doubt here. We saw in the last book that ships could seemingly go inside of the shield, but it deflects laser fire. I don't know exactly how it works, but that seems to be the rule. So the idea is they're going to go sabotage the shield. They use like bugs or some shit. Look, I'm not going to get into it all. But they're going to sabotage the shield. The shield's going to come down. The pro-Bothan people are going to start fighting the anti-Bothan people. They're going to kill each other. And then whoever wins will have to fight 3 fresh Star Destroyers that come out of Cloak and kill everyone and then blow up Bothawi.
Okay, does that happen?
No, it's averted, Ben.
Oh, how?
Eventually, Han, Lando, and Leia meander their way over to Bothawi in 3 different instances. I don't even remember why. And they find the Star Destroyers cloaked, and they tip everyone off.
Why did you want to read this?
Because I thought there'd be more Thrawn than there was, Ben. And I thought
You should have
that
known.
maybe it would
You
be
should have
better.
known after Thrawn was unceremoniously stabbed by a random Nagri.
Look, Thrawn is back,
they-
okay? Thrawn captures Lando and one of the alien Group A people and reveals himself
What?
to the Republic, and now they're all freaking
Is it
out.
real Thrawn?
No, it's fake Thrawn.
Oh.
Yeah.
The real test is, like, say Thrawn's real name.
And then, Ben, no one knows his real name, though. Except for those TIE fighters, and also Mara Jade, and also Picard. Look, let's finish out the first book. We're almost done with the first book, right?
Oh, God, there's 2.
Yeah, there are. So, meanwhile, there are a bunch of clone cells that are being reactivated. One of them is on like this farm planet, and Han is like, "Hey, let's go to this farm planet on like a vacation." Dun dun dun.
Dramatic
Because of
reverb.
course they gotta go to the one planet that has reactivated clones.
Who cares? What are they clones of?
Clones of Imperial soldiers, Ben.
There's plenty of Imperial soldiers.
Yeah, but these are sleeper cells, Ben. They're not gonna be soldiers, they're gonna be terrorists.
On a farm planet.
Hey, Editor Nate here, and I kind of take exception to Ben implying that somehow farm planets are unimportant, dick. Well, this planet is right next to a more industrious metropolis planet, so yeah, you're gonna go sabotage
Okay.
that planet. The idea is they're going to sow general chaos and unrest behind the lines. And also Han and Leia will just happen to be there, because of course they are.
Mm-hmm.
Now, before all this happens, everyone meets up in an apartment complex to tell each other where they're going to go for the next book. And also, Discount Mara Jade joins the group and goes with Card then. And the book ends with Pelion. Pelion the whole time, he's been waiting to link up with Garmbel Iblis. He thought his message went through, so he's just hanging out in the middle of nowhere. And he's attacked by pirates, but the pirates are dressed up to look like Corellian ships. But Pelion uses some sort of strategy that Garmbel Daddy invented, so he should be able to easily counter it, but he doesn't. So he knows that this was a setup by someone else. That's the end of the book. Questions, Ben?
Who are the pirates?
The Caverloo pirates. They're the ones that tried to go after that planet at the beginning, and Luke infiltrated their base. They're working with D's nuts. If anyone's following this, I commend you.
So here's
Please
what
write
I've
a
gathered.
book report about this and share it with your
Let,
class.
let me summarize the story as I understand it from your summary.
Oh, please
so
do.
let's go another summary deep.
Oh, please do. Let's do this.
Pelion wants to surrender to the New Republic. A faction led by D's Nuts and a Thrawn impersonator does not want that to happen, so they are trying to sabotage that, probably kill Pelion. That's our like B plot, and then the A plot is everyone wants to kill the Bothans.
Hey, Editor Nate here. I guess I'm being a little unfair. The Kaamos crisis and the Empire doing bad things are linked together. The Empire is exploiting the crisis, causing riots, and their plan is to spark a civil war and then kill whoever is victorious after they have been thoroughly weakened in fighting. They also want to try to take away member states of the New Republic who feel like the Republic is no longer capable of meeting their needs with how much of a clusterfuck everything is. So those two stories are actually combined. The Luke and Mara story, however, less so.
Okay. And then nothing else happened of consequence.
Pretty much. So I thought, like, okay, this book, it's all the setup, right? Like how the Thrawn trilogy...
Well, it seems like it's another treadmill where,
well, hold on. The Thrawn trilogy...
I could have written the setup in a 20-page short
could
story.
have, but that wouldn't sell, Ben. Shut the hell up. You gotta make money, okay? Moolah.
Did it make a lot
Cash
of money?
I assume so, because they brought Timothy Zahn back again and again and again. So, I thought, okay, the Thrawn trilogy, the first entire book was like setup and needlessly running in circles. And the second book was setup and a little bit of action, but basically it was all setting up the third book, where there was a lot of payoff and also some disappointment with like how Thrawn just got stabbed. But whatever. It paid off. So the third book was by far the best in the series. So I was like, alright, first book, set up all these loose plot threads. Second book, gonna pay them all off.
So, second book.
Thrawn Duology Episode 2. Vision of the Future. The New Republic is in crisis. A crime was committed like 20 years ago, and it turns out the Bothans were kind of involved in that, and so their whole species has gotta go, man. So it looks like civil war is imminent. And beknownst to our heroes now, Thrawn is hanging around, but it's just some guy in really good cosplay. Also, Luke is doing stuff.
Do you need anything from me?
You can do whatever you want. I'm just gonna keep talking.
Okay.
Here's where everything's going, right? So Mara Jade has been knocked out by flying creatures who can use the Force. Meanwhile, Luke is trying to go and rescue her. Meanwhile, Han and Leia are going to some random evil clones are being reactivated on that farm old mentor. Meanwhile, Discount Mara Jade is going with control of the organization. Meanwhile, these nuts Card wants to find fake Thrawn and
Revenge for what?
Meanwhile, there's someone inside Pirates are wanting revenge. Meanwhile, take control of
Is this actually like Monkey D.
Meanwhile, Card goes to everyone's kind of Imperial it's on Bastion, but no one in the New Republic chapter that is, and the file has been altered. That's the document of what Bothans are. It's also on Yaga Minor.
Wait, where's Bastion? Who owns Bastion?
D's Nuts is the governor.
Oh, but it's an Imperial thing.
Yes.
And Pellion's the leader of the Empire.
He's the leader of the military.
Who's the leader of the Empire?
All the
D's
mobs.
Nuts?
I think D's Nuts has the most political authority, but they're all kind of their own thing. They're all basically governors that are working together. They're also kind of a loose confederation when I think about it.
Has no one tried to ask the Empire for the documents?
So Thrawn, actually, fake Thrawn, I should say, he says he can tell which Bothans did it if they just let him go to Bothawi and talk with them for a little bit.
But they know the documents are on the planet.
Probably. I think they know that.
So why don't they just ask them for it?
Because they don't think they'll get it, so...
Well, yeah, but it costs nothing to ask.
It costs pride, Ben. Plus...
It doesn't cost pride. You can just be like, look, you guys are getting your ass kicked. You're on the point of surrender. Haven't even heard from your admiral in a while. And, yeah, I want those documents.
Okay, so...
Hand them over, and I won't shoot you.
Yeah, but they're all too busy fighting each other.
Who?
The New Republic is attacking itself.
Because they don't know who was responsible.
I think that this is just a pretext to open up old feuds. I think that a lot of these people don't actually care about the Bothans, but they're like, hey, fuck the Bothans, and also, fuck you guys, because you also did some wrong things to me back in the day. I'm gonna shoot you. Pow pow.
Well, so how could this ever end? I mean, even if they get the document and they find out which Bothans did it, people are just going to ignore it.
They unite against a common enemy. Briefly, again. And then also, it ends because the book says it ends. Checkmate. All I'm saying is that maybe the politics of Star Wars are, like, fucked up, and we really just need the Emperor to build a Death Fleet again.
The trouble is that people don't always agree.
Well, then they should be made to.
Sounds an awful lot like a dictatorship to me.
Well, if it works.
Well, and, like, maybe we should stop focusing on them?
Nah, we need 3 movies about them.
I don't care what the Senate votes on in my movie about space wizards.
All I'm saying is that this infighting bullshit wouldn't have happened under Palpatine's watch.
All I'm saying is this infighting bullshit probably did happen under Palpatine's watch, and he didn't care. Because why would he? It's happening literally hundreds of thousands of light years away.
Ben, this is the Star Wars galaxy. This is happening in his backyard, and you know it. The Emperor is going to be like, you know what? I think I'm going to go on a walk. What the fuck is this?
Naboo has no natural resources, no trade value whatsoever.
It's got gondolas, it's got fresh water, and it's got sexy women with their midriffs exposed, Ben. That's all the natural resources I need.
She was like 14 when that was filmed.
The second one?
No, not the second one.
Okay, so I'm in the queer is what you're saying.
Well, she was 14, I was 10, so...
Yeah, there you go. I saw that movie and my friend asked me what the lump in his pants was, and I was like, maybe we don't be friends anymore.
Yeah, no, we're done.
That's a true story.
That's a sad story. That's the saddest story you've ever told that doesn't involve D&D.
So Leia and Han are attacked by enemy starfighters, and the book is really trying to convince me that they're gonna die because their primary engine fails. They're heading towards the ground really fast. They're gonna hit it and explode. They're gonna die, Ben.
I don't know how many engines that thing has.
But then they're towed to safety by
who?
By those clones. Those clones.
Why?
Those clones just want to farm on their farm world, Ben. They don't want to fight this bullshit war anymore. And then Han is like, you know what? I won't tell anyone about you if you tell me where Bastion is.
How do you not know where it is?
Because it's a secret, Ben.
Then why would the clones know?
Well, they have a protocol for how to contact. Look, it actually does make sense. They don't actually know where it is, but they can get you to a point where you can get picked up and you can get smuggled in and you could get transferred here and blah, 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 and eventually you're at Bastion. And also Lando is there now, and I don't know why. And they get the Ka-Mas document, and Thrawn manages to capture them. And then he's like, oh, you just wanted the document? Here you go, bye. And the document has been forged, Ben, or so they think, because it's all high-ranking Bothans who did the job. And that can't be the case.
What?
Exactly. This is a forged document.
He was trying... okay, it's a forged...
So yeah, they try to look for the document there. Card goes off to look for the document on his own side quest that's really not important. And he meets his old mentor. He doesn't have the document.
Why is there a document?
Pelion, well, because the Emperor had it. I don't fucking know. He kept records of all his dirty dealings. So, Pelion goes to Yaga Minor. He wants to get the document and use it as a bargaining chip for peace. But he realizes that the document has been deleted by Major Tierce. And you know who ends up finding the document? Luke and Mara, the two people who weren't even looking for it.
I don't even know why anyone cares about any of this.
Yeah.
Like,
well, you know,
I'm going to reiterate.
You know, Ben? Is if you read the book.
No, because I'm going to reiterate to you that I said, why do we even care about the Bothans sabotaging this shield? And you said, I think it's just because they were looking for a shallow excuse to open up old feuds.
And we took away that shallow excuse.
To which I would say,
in the bottle.
To which I would say, everybody's just going to say that that document's not real.
Well, they are aware that the end of the book is coming.
Do you
know,
like last week, Putin said that the West was going to invade Russia, and that's why he had to invade the West? No one cares about this shit.
Well, the end of the book isn't coming, Ben, for that particular war, so that's got to keep going. But this war...
Timothy Zahn didn't write that
Exactly. This war right here, they know that they've got like maybe a couple 100 pages left. So if they get the document, they save the world. Bing, bang, boom.
Okay, so did they get it? They got it. Yeah, Mara and Luke got it.
Yeah. So let's skip ahead. Let's skip ahead. So the Bothans' planetary shield is sabotaged, but they unite to fight the Star Destroyers that were cloaked and hanging out there. And I guess I don't even remember. And then back to Luke. That was a long, like, second story inside of this story where he finds Mara and the weird TIE fighters and the really annoying birds with the really high-pitched voices, and I hate them. And Mara's like berating him for trying to use the Force to solve everything and to do everything himself, Ben. Like, one of the birds is trying to eat, like, these fire insects that just swarm over everything and kill everything, and it gets caught. And it's dying. And Luke's like, I can use my Force to pull him out. And Mara's like, no! He made his choice. You can't decide who lives and who dies. He's like screaming in the background as he's being burned to death and also eaten and stripped down to the bone. And Luke's like, Mara's like, you can't help everyone. And Luke's like, you're right. He made his choice. He has to die. He's like, no! He's like,
I don't.
Yeah. Oh, God, I wish someone with Jedi powers would save me.
Have you ever considered the philosophical implication that by choosing not to help, you're actually also choosing to kill me?
And that's when, and Luke just tunes that out.
All that's necessary for the perpetuation of evil is that good men do nothing.
Oh my God. god. So we now learned what the Hand of Thrawn is, Ben. They're these people.
I thought you were. It's literally his name.
So Thrawn, he had a secret other empire. Like how some people have secret other
He
families.
was cheating on his empire with with a secret other empire.
So during the Thrawn trilogy,
and he took that empire to the baseball game.
So during the Thrawn
Jesus
trilogy,
Christ.
he sent out some people to just go like conquer worlds and seed those worlds, and in like 10 years he's gonna call them into service to win the day. Now they hear that Thrawn is back. So now it's time to go donate all these weapons and soldiers and worlds to the Empire. And Mara's like, no! And she crashes her ship into the hangar so no one can take off. They actually want Mara and Luke to join them.
She crashes her ship into the hangar of multiple worlds?
Just this one world. And we don't think about all the other worlds. Shut up, Ben! I think these are like their leaders or some shit. Like, shut up, Ben. So
this is the leader planet.
Yeah, exactly.
This is where all the leaders
exactly.
live. The HOA is on this planet.
Also,
and all the other planets, they're neighborhood planets.
Also,
they maybe have a 7-Eleven, but that's it.
Also, Ben, they find a clone of Thrawn here.
Oh my god.
And Luke is like, well, we can't just kill him because technically he hasn't done anything wrong. And then the chamber floods and he drowns. So that was all the Thrawn we get.
They accidentally kill Thrawn.
They do.
Did he? That's dumb.
They keep fucking my boy Thrawn. Over
Are we done with this
over
podcast yet? Is this episode still going? Do you really want to continue speaking after that reveal?
Well, Ben, if it helps, earlier, Luke is like, I don't know if I like Mara or like Mara, and he kisses her.
Well, that's a pretty strong indication of one over the other. They're in their 30s.
So they find the Kamas document, and
who
and
cares?
the day is saved. And then the Empire and the New Republic, they form a lasting peace. The Galactic Civil War is over. Mara Jade is like, oh yeah, Luke asked Mara to marry her?
Oh, there's that weird religious...
That was fast.
Yeah. Well, like I said, he's a weird religious guy.
That was really fast. We haven't talked in like 10 years. I think it's time to get hitched. How about you? And she's totally okay with this, and Card is like, oh no, I lost Mara, but I have discount Mara here.
I mean, she can still have a job, Card.
No, she's gonna go train to be a Jedi. So off you go. And thus, the day
Luke's restoring the new
forever.
Jedi Order one marriage at a time.
I was thinking more like the
Okay, so are you happy you did this? Was it worth it?
Am I happy that I subjected you to this? Yes. Am I happy I read the books? Not so much.
Do you think the people are going to turn out for yet
I'm
another?
the nostalgia reader. I read it so that you don't have
Jesus.
to. All right, I see that goddamn Bothan flagship in our sights. Prepare to fire photon torpedoes. We're gonna blow the ship. Oh, hold on. Ring. Incoming call. From reinstated General Lando. Shut. Calm down. Lando says that the Empire's hanging out nearby, and that we should all unite against a common enemy instead of fighting old feuds. You know, even though we badmouthed him in the Senate, called him a shady businessman, former drug dealer, smuggler, he is a general. And even though we've shown no respect whatsoever for the military, and we've done everything in our power to just hamstring them, and we even straight up sabotaged their ships that one time. You guys remember that? It's pretty fun. Hilarious. But now that Lando's telling us to stop indiscriminately killing people, it's making a lot of sense. And there's Imperials to fight. Oh, what's this? Oh my god. He's sending over the Ka'amas document, proving which Bothans were responsible. Let me just read over this real quick. It's legit. It's got the Emperor's signature on it and everything. Emperor Palpes, he's a pretty trustworthy dude. I'm sure these are the actual Bothan saboteurs, so, we don't need to effect a genocide anymore. We can just arrest, like, a few dozen people and, call it a day. Alright, boys, let's head home. Our work here is done. Thank you, General Lando.
Oh, Lord. Okay. So what did we learn? What are the lessons? What?
No.
What are the
That is for you to say. Now that you know it all, Ben, you need to tell me, what are the themes that are for 8th grade book reports here? What is the message? The message is, if you see a hot redhead, just go for it, bro. Get that ring out and fucking go for it. You're only going to be a magic space wizard for like 10, maybe 20 years tops, and then you're going to have to look back on your life and think, like, what am I going to do now? And the answer is a hot redhead.
I feel like the message of this book is that when you're confronted with a problem in life, pick a direction and start running. And eventually, if enough of you and your friends pick directions and start running, one or many of you are going to stumble ass backwards into a magical solution.
What a great story. What a fantastic lesson to learn. That is very accurate. Oh yeah, they found out Thrawn was a fake because Card found his mentor and he just shows up on the bridge of a ship during a battle with Wedge and Garmbell Daddy. He's there with Pelion, and they're like, haha, he's a fake. Here's evidence that I got, or something. And they're all like, all right, take him away.
Wow, where'd you get so much of Thrawn's scene? I've done detailed DNA analysis, and this man is a fraud. Oh, Christ. Okay. This is the last time we were talking. You know how I had to put a moratorium on Peter Klein's?
I thought you wanted to read Thrawn in
I thought I did too. I'm putting
canon.
a moratorium on Thrawn for a year.
All right, let's see. This is coming out.
Set your watches.
May
We're recording
22nd.
this on... yeah.
So let me go to season 4. May 21st. Thrawn Classic. Baby. All right. We've got that down.
Yes. Okay. Thank God.
We've got...
I don't often use my words about books veto power.
We've got 6 episodes planned for next year, and one of them is Thrawn. Oh. I think Ben left. I think he was just done. Yeah, I heard his mic get, like, punched. I think he was just like, I'm out of here. So, follow us on Twitter.
Yeah, check us out on Twitter at WABpod. You know what? Honestly, this is another one of those times where I'm going to solicit some feedback. I want you to message me on Twitter at WABpod. I especially want you to message me on Instagram at Words About Books Podcast. And if you don't want to talk about it publicly, if you just want to tell me how much you want Nate to shut up, go ahead and email me at wordsaboutbookspodcast@gmail.com. If somehow you think we deserve something extra for this, go ahead to buymeacoffee.com
and let us know.
WABpod.
Let us know you're donating because you listened to the Thrawn episode and you want more of that Thrawn.
Let us know if you would
if
like to get
If we get 50
Thrawned.
bucks, Ben will probably be convinced to read more Thrawn.
If you want us to tackle Thrawn faster,
all the
and
Thrawn.
You
gonna do the outbound flight?
I can't promise you all the Thrawn, but I have a price. It is shockingly low, and if by some chance somebody donates money to this podcast with the note that they gots to have more Thrawn, I will accommodate that. As the YouTubers say, like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know that you want more of this kind of content. And that's what it is. It's content. This is just passing time until we die. But if that's what you want, I will take your money in exchange for it. I feel like there's another one. blog.wordsaboutbooks.ninja, where I will be writing a lengthy article about how much I hate this if I have to do another episode on it.
Oh, please make him do another episode on it. I want him to write a lengthy diatribe on Thrawn.
I will write a manifesto. All right. We're done here. We're done here.
Bye.
I want to see Scooby-Doo in charge of a bunch of space racists. I also need to do a statistical analysis of how many times we make fun of Hillary Clinton on the podcast, because I'm pretty sure we made fun of her last episode.
To be fair, it's really easy to dunk on Hillary Clinton.
She is just so unlikable.
I just look over at the baby monitor and, like, Penny's butt is, like, right up next to it. So, like, you're the Joe Biden of this podcast, and I'm Donald Trump.
Hands down the Joe Biden of this podcast. And you're the Hillary Clinton of this podcast. You're the out of touch elderly telling people to Pokemon Go to the polls.
Did she actually?
Yes, that was a huge thing. She got raked over the coals for it in the media. It was that same year that Pokemon Go got huge, and she was like, I think y'all need to Pokemon Go to the polls.
Oh, God.
I don't know how you missed that.
You can't do that to me, Ben.
You Google Pokemon Go to the polls, you'll find it. The polls.